Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs today, they tried to convince a panel of judges that the convicted rapper should be released immediately because the judge that sentenced him relied on things that Combs, was not convicted of.
The evidence and the arguments just reaffirms in this case that that the evidence that the judge was relying on is totally separate and, in fact, was acquitted conduct.
The thing is, though, up until last year, judges actually were allowed to consider what is known as acquitted conduct that you heard the defense there talk about. Remember, last year, a judge sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison. That was after a jury convicted Combs of transporting people across state lines for prostitution. But they acquitted him of the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. We don't know when the judges are going to make a decision on this appeal, but the defense wants it done as fast as possible because Diddy is set to be released from prison in April of 2028. Chloe Molas is joining us on this. And Chloe, listen, you covered this thing from beginning to end, the Sean Diddy Combs trial, which I believe was last summer at this point now. Everything just kind of melds together in this news cycle.
I know.
But the defense argued, along with what we heard there, that essentially nobody has been charged and or sentenced as severely as Sean Diddy Combs has, right? But what else did we hear from both sides in these arguments?
First of all, Sean Combs, if you really look at the totality of the situation, as you pointed out, I was there in that courtroom nearly every single day, but I was down there covering the trial every single day. He could have gone to prison for the rest of his life.
Right.
He was acquitted of sex trafficking. He was acquitted of RICO conspiracy. He was found guilty of hiring these prostitutes and transporting them across state lines. His team saying that they threw the book at him, that why did he get years in prison when you look at other individuals in the United States that have been convicted of the Mann Act, transportation to engage in prostitution, and you get mere months. Why do this? Well, they argue, like you said, that Judge Subramanian looked at Combs's life, the domestic violence against Cassie Ventura and Jane, who testified under a pseudonym. They looked at he looked at Combs's drug use, and that he looked at all of these things that he'd been acquitted of, and that he should not have factored that into sentencing. And like you pointed out, those new guidelines don't allow judges to do that. So it will be interesting to see if the Court of Appeals does decide to either overturn the conviction and release him, or at least have him be released on time served. Though I want you to take a listen to something that one of the prosecutors said today.
The threats are not followed by a request to go to dinner, a request to, ask Cassie to do the dishes. Those threats are followed by a demand for a freak off.
You hear the prosecutors saying that this is ridiculous, that he should be released under the First Amendment, that he had the book thrown at him. They're saying that the judge made the right call, and even if he hadn't looked at the acquittals that he got during the trial, that he still would have come to the same decision, which was 50 months in prison. I just want to point out that Alexandra Shapiro, who is Combs's lead attorney when it comes to this appeal, she is very famous. She has a very successful track record, and Combs had a lot of money to pay for this legal dream team, and she was in that courtroom every single day this summer waiting for this moment, which was today. So she was very prepared. I could potentially see this going in Combs's favor because the argument on his side was very strong.
It's going to take some time, though, right? Even though they want it fast.
They're asking for it to be expedited because, like you pointed out, he's going to be released in 2028, so they need an answer now.
There's already time served as well. Chloe Molas, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.